to Canada Experience, brought to you by Evans Boadi on the Evans Boadi Network. This episode we are hosting a beautiful lady from Nigeria. She came to Canada and she has made an impressive impact in this community. So we are bringing her stories to you, which I hope is going to inspire you, just like we do every time. This is going to be a great story for you to learn something from. I have her with me right now. So let me turn to Hope. Welcome to the Evans Boadi Network on Canada Experience Show.
Thank you.
All right. Hope. I've heard that if you want to sound Nigerian, you add something "na" to your language. How true is that?
The thing is, Nigerians don't even notice that they add "na." It's when people start telling us that you end your sentences with "na." We then say, "Oh, that's actually true." So, yeah.
So anytime I add "na" to my language, that how far now it makes me Nigerian,
Yes.
right? All right. Is that all or something else?
We can start from there.
Okay. All right. So now I want to sound Nigerian a little bit before we continue.
Okay.
So Hope, how far now?
I do.
All right. Thank you for so much. You want to know about your story because your story is an inspiration to many. Many people has also moved to Canada here, or they are finding here to be their home. So where did you start from? How did you grow up?
Okay, I grew up in Nigeria. And Nigeria has 36 states, and I grew up in one of the southern states. I was born in the east, but then I grew up in Rivers State, Nigeria.
What took you there? Is it your parents moved?
Yes, my parents were born in my home state, which is Enugu, but by the time I was 4, we moved to Rivers State because of my dad's new job. So that was where I grew up.
Is that where you had your basic education?
Yes.
Okay.
I had my basic education there and then moved back to my state, Enugu, for university.
Okay. So how was university for you in Nigeria?
It was going to university in Nigeria, but I attended University of Nigeria, which is one of the, by Nigeria standards, one of the best universities, and it was a dream come true for me. So it was really exciting.
Okay. Talking about school, what did you study in the university?
I read English and Literary Studies.
Did you choose that by mistake or?
No.
Okay, tell me how you got it.
Okay, I liked English because my English teacher in secondary school, I liked the way he taught English and literature. And I fell in love. I knew that I had always wanted to be a teacher, but then I didn't know what I wanted to teach because I was pretty much doing very well in both the sciences and arts, and it was difficult for me to choose because if you are a bright student, at least in Nigeria, you're expected to do either medicine or engineering. And so my dad wanted me to be an engineer and my mom wanted me to be a nurse. But I didn't. I wanted to teach. And at some point, chemistry was one of my favorite subjects and I was contemplating going to school to study just chemistry.
Okay.
So that I can teach chemistry. But then my English teacher won my heart and I decided to go for English. And yeah.
You chose to study English because of your teacher?
Yes, because my teacher made it interesting. He made me fall in love with English and literature. So I went to school to study English, and then when I started there at school studying English, I then majored in literature.
So what is it, one particular thing that your teacher did that made it interesting?
I like the way he accentuated, the way he spoke. I loved, and one of the major things I loved about English, which I don't care about anymore, is phonetic transcriptions.
Okay.
How to transcribe words. How I speak English mostly the Nigerian with my Nigerian accent and all. But I know how to. I can transcribe the words. I know exactly how it's supposed to be spoken, even though sometimes I'm too lazy to speak it exactly the way it's supposed to be spoken. But he taught us how to transcribe words, and it was interesting. transcribing words. When I see a word, I not only know how to pronounce it, I know how to, pronounce it on paper, and that's transcription. And it was really, really interesting. So when I go home, I'll keep transcribing. And then literature as well. The way he taught us literature, everything was just so interesting. Even some science students used to come to literature class because of how interesting it was. He introduced me to critical thinking.
Okay.
So literature introduced me to critical thinking, and it was my literature teacher who made that possible.
Oh, wow. That is high school.
Yes.
That's your high school. So how did your moving or transition from high school to university, was it difficult? I know Africa. You have to pass some exams and so on. How was that for you?
Yeah, it was. The first exam you have to write to graduate, of course, was the WAEC. And I still consider it the most difficult exam because you have to write some subjects you don't even care about, just so that you can sail through and graduate from secondary school. So, but we did it, and I got the grades I needed.
Okay.
Then there is the JAMB in Nigeria. You have to write JAMB. After your WAEC, you have to write JAMB. And I actually wrote JAMB twice. So the first one I wrote it, I got up to the cutoff mark, but getting into UNN, there are many people who got more than the cutoff mark. So you just have to score higher. So I didn't get it the first time, and I was able to get it the second time. And it was like a dream come true.
A dream come true. I was going to ask you about that. How was your feeling when you finally got a letter or something saying that, hey, Hope, you are admitted to UNN?
It was very dramatic. So I was in a car. I was doing school. I was living with an auntie at the time, and I used to follow her driver to the kids' school to pick them up from school. So I was doing school, and when my dad called me and told me that I can't remember if it was my dad, but I learned that UNN had released another admission list, because I actually didn't get it the second time. I had to buy what they call supplementary form for those who got the cutoff mark but weren't able to get it. So I bought the supplementary form, and then when they released another admission list, you see it in the papers.
Okay.
So I learned that another admission list had been released, and as we were going for school run, I asked the driver to stop, and I bought a newspaper. And I went through it, and when I saw my name, I screamed, and I called the driver. We nearly had an accident. Yes, we nearly had. So I couldn't believe it. It was just so surreal. Like it was, I
Dream come true.
Yes, not only that, I was going to university. I was going to the university of my dream to study the course of my dream, and it was just.
Yeah. So when they gave you admission, they gave you English. As your program.
They gave me what I applied for.
What would have been if you had the admission, but now you are going to study something different than the one you applied for?
Thank you for asking that question. I used to say that, I used to say it as a joke, but I think I actually meant it. That if I had gone to university to study something else, that I think that I would leave my course and go to English department to steal some of their lectures. And that's mostly what I would have done.
Oh wow!
Because I was just in love with
the English. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about you now finally in university of your dream. How did you how was your life? How did you go through it? Your course, your program, so that you came out successful?
I practically didn't have a life. I was just reading books and just studying, went to church and studied. So I was just practically from my lodge, because I stayed off campus. From my lodge, I would go to my department. From my department, I would come back to my lodge, then go to church, then go to market. And that was just, and I spent a lot of time in the library. Sometimes I would stay 8 hours reading in the library. So I was just reading and reading and reading, and that was just it.
So do you believe that those efforts made you successful?
Definitely. Successful is not one thing.
Yeah, okay.
So successful being that I've always wanted to be a teacher, and to be a teacher you need to go to school and you need to get some qualifications, and maybe I am becoming successful because I'm on the path to actualizing what I've always wanted. So, and studying, doing my undergrad at University of Nigeria, Nsuka, and devoting my time to my studies played a huge role to whatever I am on the path to becoming now.
Now, you were in University of your dream, UNN, right? And do you see that actually, yes, you are getting there is your dream? The support you are receiving from your lecturers or teachers or professors there, was it something you were expecting?
Yes, some of them were very, very supportive. I know Nigerian students complain a lot about how lecturers are not supportive and how they stress them out. My school was very stressful, especially my course, because sometimes for one course you read more than 50 books, and then sometimes you're doing 8 courses. So English department is very stressful everywhere in the world. But my lecturers were quite supportive to an extent. Some of them, some were not supportive, but some of them were really, really supportive by the Nigerian standards. Because sometimes when I hear what students complain about, I didn't experience those things, and I've even made a Facebook post, a public appreciation, to my lecturers, because they really did a good job.
Okay. Now, when you finished school, what did you do when you finished your undergrad in Nigeria?
Okay, so there was a compulsory 1-year national service. And when I finished it, I moved to Lagos, that's the biggest city in Nigeria. And I continued living with my auntie and looking for a job. The plan was that I would find a job. And I had the mindset that having graduated with a good grade, I will get a job. People would want to give me a job just because I graduated with a good grade. So, but I was disillusioned because that didn't happen. And I had to search for jobs, and it was very stressful. My plan was to find a job, work maybe for 2 years, help my family, and then go back to a university in Nigeria to get a master's degree, and then find a lecturing job. That was the plan. And even to find the job was very difficult.
Okay, so your 1-year national service, did you teach?
Yes, I taught.
You taught high school where?
Some small private school in one village in Kogi State in Nigeria.
Okay. All right. I'll come back to ask you why you love teaching. But let's take a quick break. You'll be right back. Yes. Welcome back to Canada Experience Show. We are still having a conversation with Hope Eze from Nigeria. Welcome back, Hope.
Thank you.
All right. So want to know how you made it to Canada. Was it part of your plans that you want to one day move to Canada?
No, it wasn't. I didn't think I could. I didn't have the facilities to dream that. I think it's a big dream, but I didn't have what it took to dream that big enough. Like, I was constrained in my dreaming. So I didn't think that it was possible. So it wasn't a part of my plans. It wasn't part of my plans at all.
So what are some of the constraints? Is it worth sharing?
Financial constraints.
Okay, all right. Okay. So at what point did you decide that now these constraints you can overcome them?
Okay, when I saw that some people were applying to schools, people around me were applying to schools in especially Germany and the UK, and they were getting. My auntie also suggested that I apply to schools abroad. So, but I was thinking of how to pay tuition, and I also didn't. I wasn't a dull student, but I somehow didn't believe I could also get scholarships. So I I didn't believe in myself. But when I saw a friend got admission to study in Germany, it wasn't even a friend at the time, it was an acquaintance, but we later became friends. And but I don't think I remember exactly the particular thing that encouraged me to start applying to schools abroad, but I remember that my auntie suggested it. So I applied to a school in the UK and got admitted without any funding.
Okay.
But I was excited. Oh, a school in the UK actually gave me admission. It was really like a light bulb moment. I was excited that they considered me to give me admission.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I didn't think that I deserved that. Then I tried again in Germany. And I got. Well, without scholarship. So that gave me the courage to apply more.
Okay.
But when I got the one in Germany without scholarship, then there was a friend who was already in Germany. And at that time, he wasn't a friend yet, but he made himself available and started walking me through what to do. And then we became friends. And he was the one who advised me to apply to Canada. But then Canada, you have to pay application fees. So when he was telling me about Canada, I wasn't taking it seriously. And I was doing one job at a time that I was working from Monday to Saturday, and the pay was very little. So one day he sent me links to 4 universities in Canada: Brock University, Concordia University, Western University, and Memorial University of Newfoundland. He sent me the links and asked me to apply to these schools. So I applied because I didn't want to offend him. Because he was taking my life more seriously, my future more seriously than I was. And he was doing that because he already knew that it was possible. But I didn't know that it was possible. So I applied because of him, and I used the salary. I eventually resigned from the job because of so many things. And I used the salary I saved and paid for 2 applications. He paid for 1, and my boyfriend at the time paid for 1. And then I got into Brock and Concordia as well. But Concordia didn't give me any funding, and Brock gave me some funding.
Okay. So let me get this. What's the process of the plan? The friend gave you these links, but did you do something extra? Did you reach out to somebody? Maybe my viewers may be also interested. They would like to also follow the path that you used to get here. Can you tell us the process, what you did?
Okay, so of course I had to write my statement of purpose, and I contacted a professor and asked him if I gave him my research interest, which wasn't even, it was just something I had a research interest, but it wasn't what I eventually ended up working on. So I just came up with that thing and asked the professor if he would be willing to work with me, and he accepted. So I went ahead and wrote my statement of purpose. The first one I wrote, my friend, the one who was encouraging me, he told me that it was rubbish. So I wrote another one, and he said it was good. Then that was what I applied with. And it was, when I wrote the statement of purpose, that was when I was working 8 to 5, Monday to Saturday. I had little or no time. And the little weekend, the 1-day weekend I had was also very busy. So I had little or no time. So I was using my break period at work to draft the statement of purpose. So with the statement of purpose and recommendation letters, reference letters from my lecturers at UNN. And I got it.
Okay. Let me just try to confirm the times that you were working. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. to 8 a.m.
8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And by 7:30 I already, because Lagos there is too much traffic, so I usually leave the house around 7 a.m.
Okay.
Then it means that I will have woken up before 6 a.m. to start preparing.
Okay.
And then by 7 a.m. I'm leaving the house. And then I'll get to the office before 8. Sometimes I get there before the cleaner.
Yeah. So you've gotten some admissions somewhere before without funding.
Yeah.
That's constraining you from going.
Yeah.
Finally, you got one from Brock University with this funding. How was your mood? How did you receive it?
I was excited. Very excited. But when I sent it to him immediately, and he interpreted it, he was excited too. But the funding was not. It wasn't full funding. It was enough. I think it was 22,000, and tuition was 23,000 plus. So he was going to cover almost the tuition, but then I'll have to fend for my living expenses.
Okay.
So that was going to be a big deal as well. So that was the next thing we had to tackle.
You got admission. You are preparing to move to Canada. What did you do in those times?
The first thing, when I finally, because my auntie and her husband eventually decided to support me, because 22,000 for scholarship was a lot of money, and they didn't just want it to go. So they made effort to support me, and then asked me to apply for visa for study permits. So I applied for study permits, and I don't know how to be optimistic, because I don't like getting disappointed. So I wasn't even optimistic. I just did. I like to do what I need to do. And my boyfriend at the time, he supported me. We prepared I didn't use an agent or anything. We prepared the documents and filled the forms, and I applied in person. I submitted the forms to them, and then I just went back. At that time, I was already doing freelance writing, and I was making some money. So I just went back to my business.
Okay.
If it works, fine. If it doesn't work.
But that period of waiting, how were you feeling?
Sincerely, I didn't want to be optimistic.
Okay.
And there was no point being pessimistic. So I decided to remove my mind from it.
So what can come, can come.
Yeah.
Whatever happens. Okay. It came, you were not expecting, or you were not putting all your hope on it. And now, bang, you have it.
It came on 16th of July.
Sister, you even have the date. That would be a special day for you. So how did you receive it?
So that day, I knew that my life had changed.
Have changed. Wow. Okay. So you made your way to Canada. How was it? Let me take a quick break, and then we come back. Now we are going to talk about your Great Canada experience. You'll be right back. Welcome back to Canada Experience Show. We are still having conversation with Hope Eze from Nigeria, and your host is Evans Boadi. Welcome back, Hope Eze.
Thank you.
All right. So you've learned a lot from your. You are here in Canada. How was your landing, and how did it go for you in the beginning?
Okay, do you mean my landing literally from the airport, or just
the whole experience? That's what you want to know.
Okay, my landing was beautiful, courtesy of some good people like Evans, who who made it smooth for me by finding a room for me and coming to pick me up from the airport, and my auntie and her family also coming to get me from the airport. They surprised me and all that. So the landing was a very beautiful experience. And I came, and the room was already fully furnished, and I just had to start living and start going to school. So at first, I everything was beautiful, even though I was cold, very cold in August. I was already using heater in August.
In August.
So, it was a beautiful landing.
Now you are here. So what did you do at first? Were you surprised by the things you see as compared to the ones you already know?
Yes, of course, many things were different. And it's the difference, I don't know what exactly, but at some point, a couple of weeks after I landed, I started feeling sad. And not because of any sort of pressure. There was financial pressure because I needed to complete my tuition, what was left of my tuition. But the sadness, I don't know if it was loneliness, because I wasn't even, I don't feel lonely. I don't know if it's aloneness or I don't know what it is, but I think it's culture shock, because I was feeling sad, some deep sadness that sometimes I would even cry. And when I make any mistake, maybe the first time I entered a bus and I got lost, and even the fact that I didn't know how to, because on the buses here, if you want to stop, in Nigeria, if you want to stop, you say that you want to stop. But here, you have to pull the string. And the first time I needed to get out of the bus, I didn't know that I was supposed to pull the string. So I stood up. And nobody stopped for me. And then when I noticed, thankfully someone was stopping at the next stop. I had already missed my stop. And then I got out and I noticed that the person pulled the string. And then I learned that. But I cried. And I shouldn't have, because it's new to me. And it's okay to be new, to be new at something, to learn something. But everything I didn't get right, I beat myself up for it. And it was the first few months was really not so good.
Just trying to adjust to the new system.
And also I don't watch a lot of Hollywood movies. I mostly watch, I hardly watch movies, but when I watch, I mostly watch Nigerian movies. So I didn't understand Canadian accent.
Okay.
So it took me getting used to. So sometimes, even in class, I wouldn't understand everything my professors were saying, but I had to get used to it. Now I don't even realize that there is a Canadian accent. It just feels natural to me.
Yeah.
And also I was a teaching assistant, and I had to make effort for my students to understand me as well. So everything just, I felt like I was just sitting by the side watching my life play out.
Right now.
Then
That time. Wow. Okay, so you got your first class. How was your experience?
my experience at Brock University was very beautiful. The professors very supportive, and there are so many extracurricular activities that can help you develop professionally and all round. So I had very beautiful experience at Brock University.
What did you do?
I did continued English and literary studies, but literature, majoring in literature as well. I didn't learn English language at Brock. And then I attended lots of workshops and participated in lots of things to also build myself professionally.
Okay. You mentioned extracurricular activities. What are some of the things that you personally did that your viewers, if they also make the chance to come to Canada, they would like to also do?
Okay. One of them was, as a teaching assistant, I needed to learn how to be a better teaching assistant. So I started attending teaching assistantship workshops, which I eventually won an award for as I won a teaching assistantship award.
Wow,
as
congrats.
the novice teaching assistant of the year. And that was in, I think, 2019-2020 session. And then I volunteered a lot. Volunteering felt like part of my, I included volunteering in my schedule, so I have to make time for my classes. I have to make time for volunteering as well, and I volunteered a lot, and it was fulfilling, and also helped in bringing me to the next stage of my life.
And then I just want to know about how you were able to manage your time, talking about being involved in volunteering and also doing other extracurricular activities. How was your time management?
I think time management is a thing of the mind. When you want to do something, people say this a lot, but it's true. When you want to do something, when you really want to do something, you make out time for it. So, naturally, I had so many reasons not to do anything else outside. I was attending my seminars as a student, a graduate student, and then I was preparing to write my major research paper. And then I had about 35 students or 38 students that I gave them assignments, or they had assignments every week, which I would mark at the end of the week. And so there are lots of things. But I needed to volunteer because one, I find it's very fulfilling to me to volunteer, and sincerely, it's also helped build my CV. Because when you there's some things you want to apply for, and people want to see that you're not just there reading books. They want to see that you're participating in building the community.
Okay.
So it also helps a lot. Yeah, so I made time for it because I knew that it was important. I knew I was going to need it. So, yeah.
And do you feel right now that those things you did has helped you?
Yes. By the time I applied for PhD programs towards the end of 2020. By the time in 2019, some of my classmates applied towards the end of 2019 for PhD, and some of them got in. If I had applied then, I feel like I wouldn't have gotten into my dream school.
Okay.
I've gotten into my dream school again. So yes, I feel like if I had applied in 2019, I wouldn't have gotten the kind of offers I got. Yeah.
Okay. We'll come back to your new dream school, another dream come true, and how you were able to make it there. But let's look at your first time here in Canada and your first university you were in. Did you receive some support in going through your studies here in Canada, especially Brock University?
Yes. I've mentioned the professors, they are very supportive. If you want to talk, their office, you can just let them know and you can work in. And my graduate program director then, Tim Conley, was very supportive. He supported us in every way. And when we come to seminars, the first thing he would do what he calls temperature checking, and he would ask us how we were doing as individuals, as humans, as people, before we get into the business of the day. And when he asked us, we knew that he was asking us because he really cared.
Okay.
Yes, so that was very important. And then there is the community of Africans here in the city, here, St. Catharines. I have many people around me. I'm mostly Ghanaians, and I'm attending a Ghanaian church as well. Not Ghanaian church, but the church is mostly full of Ghanaians. And so even though I don't attend the church a lot, but the support system there is very, very strong. I like how African immigrants support one another here. So that support is also something I couldn't have done. Because as a student, I was broke, and sometimes I couldn't even afford to book a ride to go buy water for myself, and people were giving me rides.
Wow.
And it was a big deal. I know they didn't know it was a big deal, but it was a very big deal.
Wow.
And people were giving me rides to church. So it was just, the support is very, and I also got support from back home as well.
Okay. So you had support in school, your teachers were there to help you, and the community too somewhere helping you survive or find your way out. Now let's look at when you were a TA, a teaching assistant. How How was it for you, that experience? You've already taught in Nigeria, and now you are teaching here with multicultural people, people from different backgrounds. How was that to you?
I was scared. The first day I walked into my seminar, I prayed that my students would not show up. Like, for some reason, they shouldn't come so that I can run away. I wanted to run away.
Why?
So, because I was scared.
Okay.
Did they understand me? Like, how? What am I going to... Are they very intelligent? Will they be more intelligent than me? Will they ask me questions I will not be able to answer? So many things were going through my mind. So I prayed that they will not show up. But when they did show up, unfortunately, and I had to take them through this. But like I said, I knew that I needed to improve a lot of things. Even though I was okay, I wasn't, I was at least an above average student. So, and I loved teaching already. So, and it was a seminar. So it was more like an interactive session. So I had to get the students to start speaking, and at some point they started enjoying expressing themselves as well. And attending teaching assistantship workshops helped me learn how to become a better teaching assistant.
Okay.
And it really paid off.
Yeah. So the school also had some support system to help you become a better teacher. And at the beginning you were scared, but later it even earned you an award. When you look back, how do you feel?
It feels like sometimes you look back and you ask yourself, how did that happen, and how was I able to survive that period, and how did I, and it's encouraging to me. It makes me feel like I can do more. It makes me feel like, yes, it's okay to be scared, but still show up and still do what you're supposed to do.
All right.
Do it scared. You can be scared, but just pretend like you're not.
Okay.
If you're scared, just make sure that the students don't know that you're scared. Pretend that you're not. It's okay to be scared, but keep the scare to yourself.
Okay.
And just show up and smile and get the job done.
Okay.
And you get better.
All right. So you have to overcome your shyness.
Yes.
You have to overcome your scare, whatever is scaring you. Because you don't even know the students sitting there. You don't know what they are.
And they don't even know me. Maybe they think I'm the most intelligent person in the... Like, I remember when I was working at an exams prep company in Lagos. I was teaching GMAT verbal.
Okay.
So I didn't get enough training for that. But at least I knew what I was doing. They gave me materials. I practically trained myself. And then the first day, they took me to, my employer took me to the room of, I think, about 8 people. These are 8 professionals. They're already working. They just needed GMAT so that they can go do their MBA abroad. Okay. So these are big people. And he brought me to them and he told them that I was a genius. I felt like disappearing. I felt like disappearing, but he did something. He made them believe in me.
Okay.
And then I just told myself, there's nothing you can do. You just have to teach them. And you just have to continue pretending that you're a genius. They don't know whether you're a genius or not. Just get the job done, and that's just it.
All right. And you got it done?
I got it done.
Wow.
And they gave me good reviews as well. So pretending helps sometimes.
Okay.
Just make sure you know what you're doing. If the problem is just that you're scared, that's not a very big problem. Be scared, no problem. I'm not even going to ask you not to be scared. Be scared. But just don't let the person you're encountering know that you're scared. Okay. Be scared inside. But smile outside, and get the job done.
And get the job done. Be scared inside, smile outside, and get the job done. That's good. I'll take this away. I'll take this from you. But let's look at your program. How long was it?
My program at was for 1 year.
1 year. And you finally... what was the things you were supposed to meet to graduate?
Okay, I did 3 courses in the first term. That was from September to December. And then the second term I did, I think, 2 courses. Is it 2 courses or 3 courses? I think 2. And then I wrote my major research paper.
What was it about?
It was something called ecosomatics. an intersection between eco-criticism and disability studies. So
Okay.
I was looking at what the environment means for people with, we are talking about climate change and how to save the environment and stuff. What does the environment mean for people with disabilities? I know you're surprised that I was able to do that in English and literary studies.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so in literary studies, we study text, literature.
Okay.
So, and literature, people write about practically everything. So anything that can be written about can be studied. And what we do is literary criticism. So anything that can be written about can be studied. So you can pick it up as a topic, and then you can find a text that explores that. And you can also decide to talk about, we do interdisciplinary studies these days. So you can also decide to link it to external context, external from the book. So you can decide to link it to what is happening around you.
And you got a good result?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I got 88 is not that bad.
Yeah, for research it's not,
Yeah.
especially those field. It's very great achievement. You said you have a dream school. You've gotten another dream. What are you going to do and what's happening there?
I want to become a professor in literary studies.
Okay.
So I'm also continuing with literature. I'll be going to the University of Alberta, Alberta Department of English and Film Studies.
Okay.
But I'll be focusing on the Department of English. And when we say Department of English, many people think that we're going to study nouns and verbs. And the last time I studied English language itself was in undergrad.
Undergrad,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's still literature. So I'm going to research, and this time I'm studying something else, still about the environment, but another aspect of it.
So your dream school now is University of Alberta. All right. And have you started now?
No, I'll be starting in September.
In September, all right. Okay. How are you preparing? How is your fear? Are you excited about it?
I'm very excited. I want to go back to school, but I feel like I belong in the school, and so I'm excited to go back to school. But I'm also worried about change. I don't like change a lot. Like changing, I don't mind living in one place forever if I don't have any problems there. So I'll be moving, and that's stressful. It's been stressful. I've already moved some things. So yeah, I'm excited about going back to school, but I'm slightly worried about how the change will affect my health. And Alberta, Edmonton is very cold. It's colder than Catherine, so I'm also thinking how will it be. But I know I'll be fine.
All right. So Hope is now going to, is becoming a PhD student in English literature, right? Okay.
English and literary.
English and literary studies very soon. It's a good achievement, a great achievement. Now let's look at where you stand now and where you were before. Do you feel that or think that Canada has impacted you? Coming here wasn't a mistake, something you regret?
Why would I regret?
That's what I want.
No, I don't regret coming to Canada. Coming to Canada has helped me a lot. If I were in Nigeria, I don't know what would have happened. And I wouldn't have been doing badly because shortly before I left Nigeria, I was already doing well, at least well enough. But coming to Canada has given me options. So for now, at least in the next 4 years, I can stay in Canada. So I have the option of going back to Nigeria. So there's something about having choice. If I was just in Nigeria, I have just Nigeria. So if I want to go back, I have choice. I have choices now, Canada or Nigeria, and that is very important.
That's very important. It's good. It's very important to have choices so that whatever happens, you can decide to be A or B.
So you don't feel stuck anyway.
All right. So what's your future plan after this PhD?
I want to be a professor, that's what I know. But right now I want to focus on the PhD.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have any grand plan yet, but it's I know that I want to give my best in this to this PhD. and I want to make sure I publish a lot of papers and just explore and create something new, you know, because I know that whatever I do in this stage will determine how the next phase after the PhD will be.
Okay. All right. Now, initially you mentioned that you are passionate about teaching, and said that I will ask you later, what's driving you? Why do you want to teach?
I love to, and I want to teach adults. I don't want to teach children because children will believe anything I tell them.
Okay.
And I want people. I love people who think actively, who are asking questions, and teaching adults. I will be, or maybe teenagers in their late teens. I have people who can question the things I'm telling them. And then when I'm teaching them or lecturing, I'm interacting with their minds.
Okay.
So I'm showing them something, and I'm directing them, but I also want to know how they think, and that's why I like literary studies. It's not a discipline where this is this thing, this is how it is,
like
learn it. No.
Method.
In literary studies, this is how this thing has been so far. What do you think about it? Do you think it should continue being like this? You know, and I love to talk with people about things, about what was before now.
Okay.
And how did this thing come to be like this? Does it have to be like this? If not, what do we need to do to change it? So I love to talk about things like that with people. And what's the best way to do it than to have people some people will not want to listen to me, but when you're students, you're paying your fees, so you just have to come and sit down there and listen to me by force. So I want people that I'm interacting with.
Okay. All right. So you want to talk to people. Now, I'm looking at your Facebook profile here.
Oh, wow.
And I see you like writing about social issues and even advising women. What's that? Why do you do that? Because
the world is not fair on everyone, but especially on women. And when I say the world, I mean men.
Okay.
So there are so many things in society that are not good for women. And today there is someone, a Nigerian celebrity, posted something. His wife, got married not too long ago, so he posted something appreciating his wife for pursuing her career. She read medicine, for pursuing her career to support him, and that has been the talk of the day on the Nigerian social media space.
Okay.
And some people are saying, if that's what makes her happy, let her be watching. And I'm wondering, if a man decides, I don't know if any man would decide to pause his career so that his wife will have her own career. And I'm wondering, if a man does that, would Nigerians still say if that's what makes him happy? You know? So that's just an instance.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. We are wrapping up. My audience and those who are watching us, they are interested in your story. What's your advice for them?
Well, it depends on the demography of the audience. I know maybe I should talk to the students. Yeah. Maybe what I want to say is that I mentioned that when I was in Nigeria, I didn't have any dream of coming to Canada because I didn't think it was possible. Sometimes you'll be in some situations and you won't know that you won't be able to dream outside of your current situation, and that is very restraining. Even right now, I feel like I didn't dream big enough when I was a child, because even though some people think I'm doing well, but I feel like I didn't dream big enough, and I need to go back to the drawing board and start dreaming again. So don't let your background restrain you from dreaming, because some things you think that are beyond your wildest dreams can actually be possible. So feel free to dream, and then do the right thing, take the right steps, And if you have opportunity to serve, do that because it pays as well. I know many young people these days don't want to. Everybody wants to be their own boss. I have no idea what that means. So if you have the opportunity to serve, do. At some point, you might not have the chance to serve as much as you would have when you were younger. So when you have the opportunity to serve, do that because it pays. And then please dream. Dream as much as you can. And take actions, practical actions every day to work towards your dream, and they'll come true, most likely.
Thank you. So what you say is that dream, and don't be limited by your dreams, because what is difficult for you today may be achievable in just a second tomorrow. So feel free to dream. I don't want to miss this question. I'm wrapping up, but I'll go back and ask you. Do you feel, do you hope to go back, return back to Nigeria?
Well, sincerely, with the current situation of things in Nigeria, there is the political tension is too much, and it's not even about money, because you can still have money and you're not safe. So if things change in Nigeria, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I would want to live in Nigeria. But with the way things are now, if Canada can have me, I'll be here for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Hope, for having you here on the Canada Experience. I told you that you are going to learn a lot. I told you that you hear stories that will inspire you, that you will also be able to learn from. I told you that it's worth watching this show. Thank you for having Hope, and thank you for watching. We hope to see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.